Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sweet Release Healing Round Table. I'm Andrea Lovett of Sweet Release Healing. We also have with us Sharon of Sweet Release Healing, our fantastic producer, and my amazing assistant, who is literally a clone of me, which is fantastic because I need that. Tonight's guests are Shirley, Carlene, and Antoinette. Hi, ladies. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Tonight, it's a good topic tonight, and it's not just a good topic, it's on point because we are in full moon energy. So, because we are in full moon energy, we are talking about the moon cycles, how we use them, how we manifest with them. Hi, Terry in TikTok. We also are going to discuss all the fun ways that we use moon energy, not just for manifesting, but for letting go and all that good stuff. So, last night, totally, for TikTok, I have to watch my language. Totally took it all off and just stood in that moonlight. And I was like, just fix me. Fix all of this. Let's clear all this. Let's just fix it all. And now I normally don't do that. I usually make jokes about doing stuff like that. Like I tease my neighbors that I'm going to be like, hey, don't look over here because you're going to see something you definitely don't want to. And I always joke about like dancing around the fire and stuff like that at night. But last night I actually made good on my promise. I'm so thankful that I also live in a small town because the last thing I need is people being like, put it away.
Why? You're giving them a free show. Normally they'd have to pay for that, right?
The Moonlight Cinema.
I would absolutely dance naked under the full moon, except my parents are about 200 feet away, and I don't think they want to show.
No, I'm willing to bet that would scar them a little bit. You're a baby girl, no.
That's the first thing I'll do when I get my own place, my own house, property. Dance.
I can't wait to build a fence.
In the moonlight.
Oh, okay. So where my new house is going to be, I have creek access, and it's in the middle of the woods. So, future plans.
That is amazing.
Future plans all set, huh?
Yeah.
So did I absolutely 120% spend way too much money, and I'm cheap, so way too much money is like $10 more, on a chemise, like the old school one with like the flared arms and everything. Yeah, from Holy Clothing, so that I could go down to the river on moonlit nights.
Okay,
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing it tonight.
Oh, nice. With like a little chalice for moon water.
It's a super moon. Go all out.
That's how I feel. You need to harvest the supermoon all 3 days of it. You need to. Now,
Absolutely.
granted with moon cycles when they're at their highest, like the full and the new, 3 days before and 3 days after, you're still feeling peak energies. But after that, it starts to wane enough that it doesn't have like a whole effect. So, am I talking to a different dude who may or may not have been chasing me for a little bit? And I was like, no, you're a jerk and I want to talk to you. Just being a little bit mean. So am I talking to a new dude? 100% I am, because whatevs. And did I say something like that last night to him about like, yeah, I think this is what I'm going to do. And he was like, excuse me. Like, so he works night shift. He works like midnight to 8 a.m. And this morning, right away this morning, I got a phone call and he was like, what was that? And how can I get in on it? And I was like, slow your roll. I was like, you can stand over there and protect me while I do this stuff.
Yeah.
As long as I get to see. I'm genuinely
That's his
thinking
payment.
about it. Well, I know that's your payment. You get to see this child making in all its glory. This child made in bondage in all of its glory. And then some of my friends are already up at a lake. So part of me is like, if y'all is still there around 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight, leave. Leave or
For
join
real.
me. Whichever. We're going to be heathens tonight.
That's so cool. I want
I
a
think
place like that. I want a place with a lake behind the house to do crazy stuff in.
that's one thing I really like about living here is there's so many rivers and freshwater accesses because we know I don't do sharks and I don't do the ocean because they're mean. Um,
And
don't do that.
salty and cold.
Especially the cocaine sharks in Florida now.
Can you elaborate on
What?
that?
Currently, a lot of cocaine ended up in the oceans off of Florida, and so the sharks are a little hopped up.
Shut the front door. First of
You're
all, only
giving
in Florida.
Andrea nightmares here.
I'm never going to Florida, so I'm okay with that.
Exactly.
I should see the chat. They're like, wait, what? What? The TikTok chat is going, like, for real? For real?
For real.
Of course, Florida. Jessica, we saw that. I was going to confirmed this is the thing from Tiff. I love that her husband fact checks us. He's like, yup. There's orcas in Keystone, which is also abnormal, especially since they are attacking. Holy sugar shits. And someone else was like, I heard
yeah.
about that stuff. What?
Orcas are attacking rich people boats because they've been hit too many times by them. And so there was one, I think, I don't
It was a
remember if
matriarch,
it's,
right?
yeah, that she taught everyone else how to attack them. And so now it's just a gang of orcas.
She said it was
terrorizing.
I love it. Gladys was it. And Kaylee says, sink the rich. Yep.
Yep.
I have a sticker somewhere around that says, be a problem that money can't solve, and it's an orca attacking a yacht.
Oh, I love that. I love this. So let me just say, I love that the ocean is fighting back. And I'm like, Team Orca. Oh, Jordan just said the same thing. Team Orca. Jinx.
I saw that there was this group of people who was having their little like picketing against a rich people event that Bank of America was hosting, and one of those people was dressed as an orca. It's full body orca costume.
I love this. Kaylee says she actually bought a Sink the Rich shirt.
Ooh,
Love it.
nice investment.
I don't understand why Kaylee's not in this one right now.
I know.
I'm wondering though, with the illicit materials in the ocean plus the full moon, what's going on with these sharks? Are they okay? I think the full moon probably made that significantly worse for them. And also, I have questions. Did they bite the bags? Or is it just like in the ocean water now? So, like, what if the sea stars got it too? Like little minnows. What about sardines? Are there sardine schools that are going really fast now?
It's a Coke fest. They're all accidentally snorting.
My friend that told me about it, I asked, one of the first things I asked, I was like, my curiosity is about the jellyfish and pufferfish. Like, how are they doing?
Are the pufferfish just... Oh.
I want to know about the octopuses. Are they just punching fish left, right, and center?
Are they just like raving, just changing colors, just having a nice little go?
Tonight's topic is supposed to be moon cycles, Kaylee. We're pulling it back in. We are pulling it in. We got it. We're okay. What about seals?
Stop.
No, you know how they go really fast and they slide? One of them's like in midtown. Got a rash on his belly, but the little guy's going.
No.
So Jordan says says they're swimming into beaches in shallow water. That's not normal. They are swimming erratically. Well, yes, ma'am. Oh my God.
Now they got a taste of it, so maybe when there's some packets that fall again, you'll see some swordfish tearing that stuff apart and just they know what to do with it now.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I'm going to hell. I'm driving the bus at this point. All I'm thinking about are all the sea creatures that are all hyped up right now. Um, who had that on their bingo card? All right, I totally just sent Kaylee an email to join us because how freaking funny is she?
Yay.
Um, so I love Sharon's comment in the chat. Fuck with nature enough and it will fight back. This is fuck around and find out energy.
Yeah.
This is why poppies don't live next to the ocean. She's gone to about 15 minutes. Yay, Kaylee's coming.
Yay.
We love Kaylee. So, moon cycles, right? Those moon cycles, you know? Jesus Christ.
I have a question about tonight's topic. Are we only talking about moon cycles or also moon cycles?
We will
Because I've
save
seen
that.
people use both.
We'll save that for after dark when I don't have to watch what I have to say on TikTok because TikTok will get mad at me. So we have to watch ourselves for the first hour and then we'll close it. I'll shut this down because I love you guys, but sometimes the adults need to talk adult stuff. And then we will say whatever the fuck we want. Here we go. Jesus, I can't even look at you guys. I'm giggling. I can't. Like, I literally can't. I looked over and I was like, no.
This is what we get for trying to do the podcast on the supermoon.
You get giggly people. I love the supermoon. It was huge last night, and I was like, biggest one I ever saw. Maybe. And if I had a nickel for every time I said that, I'd be a liar. So, anyhow.
For every time you said that and it wasn't true.
Fine. You're a normal size supermoon. It's fantastic.
I mean, I was going to say that's what she said.
It's really, honestly, the supermoon is really about the motion of the ocean rather than it is the size of the supermoon anyhow. I lied.
No size queens here.
Okay. Sharon's giving me the...
Everyone's precious. Everyone's special in their own way. All supermoons.
Sunshine, Iona, should I let go of Junior? I answered you on this one yesterday. That was a yes. He still hasn't grown up in 24 hours, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but I definitely answered you yesterday, and that has not changed, baby. Why does the full moon affect people's behavior so drastically? Who wants to take this one? Go ahead, Carlene. I was almost said Carlene, too. I was like, little hand.
The moon is my thing, okay? So, I mean, okay. The moon energetically pulls and creates waves in the ocean. We are, 70% water? 80% water?
65 on a good day.
Yeah, well, how could we not be affected by it?
Everything, if you think about it, every cell inside of us contains water. Even our bone cells contain water. Like the full moon, I get wild dreams. I get headaches galore. Like nothing is working for this headache today. I'm like, this is fun. I know. I keep trying to push out my light and it relieves it a little bit, but I'm hurting.
My proprioception gets thrown way off. I've been tipping over left and right.
That's a very valid point. I am clumsier during the full moon. I broke my shoe today and I was like, what the farts? I love that shoe.
our brains are full of water. So, yeah, I'd see how that's.
I get very like spacey. Like I tend to disassociate a lot on the full moons. Like I'll be in the middle of doing something and my mind just goes somewhere else.
Jordan says she gets extra feisty, which I'm pretty feisty as it is, but yeah, I get a little uppity as the full moon approaches, but when it's here, I'm like, oh, thank the gods. There we go.
That's the
And
reason for the problems.
Erin's saying she gets intense dreams. Tiff says she gets super manic, so much energy. My dreams do get weird. They do. Normally I wake up feeling like I've just left a giant boardroom meeting and like we've discussed so many things. And now I'm like, oh, I'm actually dreaming things and remembering things. We're not discussing what I dreamt of last night, by the way, because it's inappropriate.
So after dark.
Maybe.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
No, you're fine, Antoinette. Technology's weird today.
I always have crazy dreams, but they definitely get more vivid and like weirder with the full moon. And then okay, they're kind of laughing at me because I always, every morning, I'm like, what the f was that what's supposed to mean? Like, normally I get the bits and pieces of like what the message was. But during the full moon, I'm just like, what was that?
Like, no comprendo. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing.
It's funny you mentioned that because that's pretty much where I've been. And I've never noticed that before.
Yeah,
Why not?
I don't know. I have a lot of vivid dreams, like constantly, and I do remember a lot of my dreams. During the full moons, it kind of gets weird as well. Like it's dream after dream after dream after dream of like of just randomness, and then we get those dreams where I don't know if anyone has them too, that where you're just so exhausted in the dream that like you can barely even open your eyes. Like in the dream you're trying to go to sleep or you're trying to stay awake and you're just exhausted, and then you wake up and you feel like you haven't slept at all because you're just so tired in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
Yeah.
those.
I don't like those either. It's like, listen, I just put in several hours of work here. I'm laying in this bed. I stopped what I was doing. I went to the bathroom. Like, come on. Give me something. I can't have spent all these hours here with no gain.
I have nights like that actually after podcast nights or like after a class when I'm like really tuned in to everything. They won't shut off for the rest of the night. I'm like, can I actually sleep? And they're like, just talking, showing me blips of things. And I'm like, this is not actually sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, now we have your attention. Here's all the super.
Pretty much.
Every once in a while I wake up feeling even more exhausted and Spirit's like, but your body's fine. Like my guides specifically will say that your body slept, you're fine. Your body stayed still. This is what you do. And I'm like, you guys do not understand.
No.
The mind needs downtime too. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Do you know my guides have gotten wicked smartass lately, like even more than normal? And they're like, but did you die? I literally said that to me today and yesterday. I was like, no. Y'all are just itching for me to ignore you, aren't you? They're like, you wouldn't dare. I'm like, you're right, but let's not tempt fate because we all know how stubborn I am. Hella would be the answer, by the way. Hella stubborn.
Yeah.
So
no.
Shut up, Antoinette. Guess who's gonna find their way on a bingo card? So we covered kind of the full moon. Like there's a lot going on with the full moon. But what about the new moon? Like 0
So
out of 10 would not recommend, would give it 0 stars if I could.
I actually love the new moon. Love it.
And
But it's because it's like the beginning of something. So when you want to start something that you want to bring into your life, that full moon, I mean that new moon energy is really how to like bring it forward. And so that's kind of what I started doing with my hair, and it just started growing and growing and growing and growing like crazy.
Say that again?
yeah, what
What?
did you do to your hair?
Why would
I
you say
I
that?
would cut my hair during that new moon energy. I would get my trims during the new moon energy, and it would just grow like crazy. Whereas like the 3 years prior, it had barely grown.
The fuck? We're
That's
using moon energy
cool.
all
I'm
wrong.
writing that down.
But yeah, so the new moon is very much that beginning energy. So that's the beginning. That's like, conception. That's where you have put all your hopes and dreams, and you can work something from the new moon all the way up to the full moon, and that strength of it is just going to build and build and build and build, and with that new moon culminate.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we have a question in the chat that's come up a couple times, and it's a little off topic, but is there a way we can tie in the 8-8 Lionsgate halfway point between full moon and new moon this month? So for those who don't know, I am doing a excuse me, a spirit-led guided meditation for the Lionsgate, but I'm doing it on 8-7 instead of 8-8, so everybody's prepared for 8-8. Now, 8-8 is a huge manifestation time. So considering that it's going to be between the time of full moon and new moon, where we're waning, it's a reminder of what you need to let go of and the process you need to keep practicing to let go of in time for the new moon. I have a feeling that spirit is going to like write us. Spirit's going to like during it, they're going to be like, and pull your shit together. I get that feeling of they're going to write our energy. They're going to be like, hey, this is what we do to manifest, and this is what we would like you to focus on manifesting for the rest of this year until the next one. And then, of course, what we need to let go of so that manifestation can happen is really important. You know, the new moon for me irritates the shit out of me. I'm like, where's my friend? Where is my friend? And why can't I see her? And I get frustrated. But the new moon always reminds me that when I'm alone and I'm faced with my own darkness, how do I feel in that? The new moon makes me reflect on myself quite a bit.
I love
How do
what
you?
both of y'all have said because so I see it the same way as Antoinette does, but I also do what you just said. So I use it as a reflection time, but also as a time to clean up my surroundings, to prepare for the things and to also kind of clear out the things that I'm getting rid of.
You know, Jessica put a similar point in the chat too, Carlene, is always reminds me that it's okay to start over.
Yeah.
And it is. We are encouraged to start over that much. We are. Spirit encourages us to do that, to say, hey, you need to focus. Like, we know what we got here, and now we start here, and let's keep going. I like having those checkpoints of like, here's what you look like bathed in light. So figure out what you want based on that. And here's what your darkness looks like, and figure out what you want from that. I love both sides of that coin. I do. Shirley, awful quiet about new moon energy, baby.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's like a spring cleaning, kind of.
Yeah. That's usually when I tend to
feels that
like
way.
deep clean.
I realized that I do things, I don't usually plan things out ever with full moons or new moons. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I decide I kind of don't feel like it because I'm feeling lazy or something, or I don't want to do it, or things like that. And it's something always happens where I gotta do a working, energetic working, impromptu, um, that is around that time. Um, so for me, I've realized, yeah, new moons are kind of like the beginning, like a spring cleaning as well, and kind of getting your baskets in order.
Mm.
I don't do much though
I
with
like
that.
No, I like that though. You're more than welcome to come spring clean my house every new moon if you want.
So
I
do
don't
any of
have
you
a.
feel? No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I also don't have like a set routine. It's kind of just very intuitive based on what the moon type is and like what sign it's in and everything. Um, because sometimes I just use it as like a self-care day to be like, okay, it's the moon. I have to rest. That's my
Yeah.
Yeah,
excuse when I need it.
yeah, I do that as well. That like, oh, I guess whatever the subject is of the energy, like I can do that. But sometimes it's more. I do get that sort of like that intuitive push, that intuitive ping, and sometimes I am told by my guides what to do. Sometimes I don't even remember if it is a new moon or a full moon, and then I realize, oh, I did this on the new moon or full moon. I can't tell you how many times I've had to do some like releasing or energy cutting or things like that on a full moon, and sometimes I'm just like, what's going on? Why am I doing? And they're like, it's because you're releasing or um, you are shedding your past self and or things like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a full. Okay, yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
Isn't it always funny how it makes sense after the fact? Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
now I see it. Sorry, there's something in my throat. Nothing fun. Don't worry.
Antoinette, were you going to say something?
So do you any of you like feel particularly drawn to like so all the different full moons have these different names. Do any of you feel particularly drawn to any of them, like specific ones?
I am, and it's the one that's at the end of this month. It's the blue moon, and I'm so excited.
Blue moon is literally the only name I care about with moons. I'm like,
And the one
sturgeon
coming
is
up.
a fish. Like, why is it a fish full moon? I don't get it. And is it just me, or do we name the full moons but not the new moons? I get really confused by that. I
Oh,
Maybe
get
they place
so
more importance on the full moons and the new moons
yeah.
as a society. Who knows?
I mean, that makes sense. You can see one and the other one's just dark.
Like the dark side, they don't want to deal with it.
They usually
Okay.
tend to mark similar things to um like the solstices and stuff. It's just like on a monthly basis. So like when the energy is at its peak, that's why it was named. Like they're typically after like harvest seasons, hunting
Yeah.
seasons, those types
Isn't
of things.
today,
Whereas the new moon, there isn't really like
because today
a
swaps over to llamas, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I'm just looking for Samhain.
Like when I collect my moon waters, I label which moon it is. So like I felt particularly drawn to the snow moon this past year, and so I have my bottle of that water, and it has such a very distinct feel to it.
So that I can totally relate to. There's some moon waters I collect where I'm like, this is going in the bath. This is going in a simmer pot. This one I am drinking. It's how I like to use them is always influenced by the feel of that moon too, that moon cycle. This one felt particularly strong, but it is a super moon. And I'm just like Carlene, I am stoked for the new moon. I am super fucking excited about it. Now, do you guys also oh, I'm getting schooled. Kristen Shadow Guide, the one that sounds like lasagna. I don't know. It's Lud Nasad. Huh. I don't know. I'm not great with that. The whole English language is hard for me. Do you feel like there's a difference between like your new moon water and your full moon water? Because new moon water is so subtle for me.
Yeah. And then I even go as far as like what sign it's in. I particularly remember, I don't really remember if it was new moon or full moon because depending on what sign it is kind of also what packs the punch with it for me. But I just remember distinctly I had one that was in Virgo and it was probably full moon water, let's be real. One was Virgo and the other one was Leo. And the Leo one I put in a self-care bath because I needed the confidence. I needed that boost. And something to pep me up pride-wise. The Virgo one I used in a simmer pot with like lemons and apples and oranges to spruce up the environment of my house. Get the more words. Okay.
Are so hard.
I lost it. Virgo, Virgo energy.
You mean like you mean like the organization of Virgos and
yeah,
got it.
And that workflow. Getting things in order.
One of my besties is a Virgo and he literally just started a restaurant and I'm like, that is so Virgo of you. That is so you on so many levels. And I think he's like a Virgo rising and moon too. And I was like, wow. Are you okay? I was like, are you okay? And he was like, get over here, Libra bestie. I need some of this relaxing energy. And I was like, you want some flirt too? Because I got that. I can't. No. For me, I never pay attention to these things. It's just like I get the feel. Like I get the push, I get the feel. And then it's like, okay, this is what we're going to go do. Just take a big deep breath. And 9 out of 10, no, okay, apparently that's overshooting it. It's more like 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 times I listen to what they're saying. Oh, man, I'm getting schooled.
They corrected you immediately.
I needed it.
No
it,
called
though.
out at all.
I would like to be honest. So if I'm being dishonest with myself, they'll tell me. I like to be honest. At least I'm not mad at it. But it's true. There's many times where they're like, hey, you need to put out your moon water. And I'm like, shit, I got to put out my moon water. And then I get distracted by something sparkly. And then I wake up the next morning going, fuck. Do you know I have jars? I have jars of new moon water that are like 4 months old.
I had to get rid of all of mine when I was packing to move. Otherwise, I had 6 jars? 4 jars? Yeah. That I had to like hurry up and come up with a way to use them because they weren't going to make it in the travel.
See, Sharon's smart. She sets out gallons at a time. She's smart.
That's really...
That's a lot
That's
smarter.
what I should do.
Less aesthetically pleasing, though.
My outside table looks like a thrift store shelf. 100%. It's all different. There's all different jars.
When I lived in the mountains, I would do gallons.
It's a better idea. Smarter.
Yeah. I feel like I always go by intuition as well. Just like not even planning anything out. They just do. Like yesterday, I got the push of doing manifestations, and so I did that whole thing yesterday. And they really want me to get in the salt bath. I haven't done it yet. I should have done it yesterday, but yeah, it's like pushing that off. But I only have a few days.
For my own dopamine reserves, I have to just listen to them as they go along because the second that someone's like, you need a routine, I'm like, and I'm done.
That's how I am. No, I just go with what I feel like in the moment. And that's how I end up with jars. sitting there because I'm like, I haven't felt the need to use them yet, so they're just gonna sit there.
That's how I
Listen.
ended up with Daddy Josh Neighbor, who's like, "You want to harvest my mullein?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And believe it or not, none of that is dirty. All of that is legitimate.
Nice.
My point being, following intuition has never led me wrong. It's always just led me to be where I need to be, and the moon cycles are no different for me. Knowing when it's time to just stop, settle down, get in a bath, write things down. They always do such a great job of showing me. Like now, I'm being shown notebook, so I'm going to be journaling tonight. I'll be working on manifestations on paper, but also pen on paper is how I manifest the best.
Same. And it's funny because this full moon, they kind of changed my routine. So I'll get my notebook out, which that's why I have it right next to me this time. I'll get my notebook out and I'll be like, okay, what am I writing? Like, am I writing what I need to release? Okay, then how many things do I need to release? Like, how many things do I need to come up with? And they'll help me come up with the things too, because I'll sit there and be like, I don't know. And then after that, typically they'll be like, okay, now you're going to manifest. It's usually like half or somewhere around there, the amount of things. But this time they were, because I've been nitpicking myself a lot. So they're like, enough with the releasing, enough with trying to fix yourself. Just dream big for once.
Kaylee's here.
Hi, Kaylee.
Unmute.
Kaylee.
Unmute. Say hi.
Hi.
So someone was asking in the chat, did pregnancy influence or affect your intuition in any way, shape, or form? And I know it did me. I felt, but with my daughter, not with my sons. My sons got stronger. With my daughters, I got weaker. And it felt like I was transferring to her.
I wasn't paying attention with that much with either one of my pregnancies. I was just trying to get through it.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
So I always knew when I was pregnant before a test ever told me, like before a test could tell me. But with both my kids, I knew characteristics they were going to have. Like I just knew. And so I knew I'd have a kid with blue eyes, which is something that just pops up in our family every couple of generations. And I also knew that I'd have a kid with one green eye, one blue eye. But yeah, stuff like that seemed to be stronger during pregnancy.
I knew what my kids were going to be. I knew I was going to have a boy and a girl. I knew Benny was going to be a boy, but I really wanted to convince myself that he was a girl. I also knew with my miscarriages that they were not going to be viable. I knew it at the time. Still broke my heart, but I knew it at the time. I knew, it's funny because I cried about my daughter's characteristics when I was pregnant with her, and my husband at the time put his arm around me and was like, hey, it's okay. That's not these are just pregnancy hormones. You're wrong. And I was like, I ended up being super right. If we were talking and we didn't hate each other, I would love to be like, hey, remember that point? I was fucking right.
For me, I pretty much knew like the second I was pregnant. Like I woke up out of a dead sleep and was like, I'm pregnant. I was like, no, I can't be. I was. I was.
I was like that with my son, but with my daughter, I was 18. So like I knew nothing. So
Same.
Yeah.
I was
In the
16.
In the chat, Sharon said, I had zero intuition or spiritual connection way back then, so I was solidly clueless.
that's how I
For
was
sure.
with my daughter. Nothing.
Listen, Shirley, there's no need to brag that you don't have any kids, first of all.
Yeah, I can't relate.
Bitch. Let me just lay this on you. I fucking hated being pregnant. All 5 times, I hated being pregnant. 5 pregnancies, 3 children, fucking disgusting. I hated it. I was like, this is when the baby turns in you. I was like, no.
That feeling
thought
was
that
so
was
cool
cool.
to me.
No, it was like something out of Predator and Alien. It was something out of a fucking sci-fi horror movie. I was like, this is wrong.
My
Why?
favorite. I loved laying on my side, and I would watch my daughter just like, bloop, just like turn to the side.
That's gagging me a little bit just thinking.
Well, so when I was pregnant, like I was still in high school, and it was like up until I like went and got induced that I went to school.
Good for you.
And after lunch is when he'd start getting all crazy. And so I'd just be like sitting there, like paying attention to the teacher, and everybody like, "What the fuck?" Because like he's like, like, body. And so like everybody would just take a moment and just like watch my stomach, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, can we just
my gosh.
like
It looks like an Alien versus Predator thing. Like I saw my sisters, their stomachs. I'm just like, and then they had me put my hand on there. I'm like, no. And every time they tell me something about like just the entire process of the pregnancy or the birth and like taking care of kids, and just adding that to the list of reasons why never having any kids.
I absolutely loved being pregnant. But when it came to birth, thank God for technology, because I would have been one of those people that died during my first childbirth.
Oh,
And my child almost died. Like, it was crazy. But my oldest child came into the world in a very similar fashion to the way I came into the world, because I almost died, and my mom, if technology wasn't around, would have died. That was
holy crap.
my first brush with death.
Wow.
Blanca, oh my god, yeah, I almost passed out when people talk to me about pregnancy. No, it really does gross me out. The full thing. Like they're in water inside of me. Why?
With their eyes open?
Yeah. And they poop and pee inside of me? Why? That's yucky.
I mean,
It's
kids
so
are yucky.
one of the comments on here was like, there's the star seed. And I think it was from Tiff. Like, there's another call out for me today, but it's okay. I need it. Yeah. Pregnancy sincerely grossed me out. And I found that the moon cycles were stronger, especially the full moon was significantly stronger for me during my pregnancies. Now, my first one, I did not make it full term with him. I was less than 6 months pregnant. I was like 24 weeks when he was born, and he's like sincerely a medical miracle. And I knew that kid was going to be a fighter for the rest of his life, and here we are, gearhead fighter, but arguer, world class arguer. Yeah.
Where did we get that from?
Shut up. We're gonna put that on. And when you go swimming, you become a submarine. Ew. Ugh. Oh, that's nasty. I don't like.
Oh my god.
It's really getting me. Like the thoughts of like, remember, okay, so every once in a while, like, you know how, you get a poop that moves in your intestines or like bubble of gas or something, and it moves and it feels like a baby again.
Like
I'm
that
like,
flutter.
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't even have a uterus anymore, and like I still like. I'm like, that's really weird.
Kicks.
Yeah.
All the
phantom kicks.
Mm-mm.
Phantom kicks.
If I have to come back here again, I'm not doing it.
Adding that to the list. Hold on.
Not coming back as a man. I want value. That did not. I'm sorry. That was not very. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not. I really want. I want to be. Want to be sorry, but
The men who are on our levels, they get it. The
yes,
ones
ma'am.
that throw tantrums, they needed to hear it.
I'm looking forward to the tantrums on these. So, what are you guys doing for the full moon tonight? Like,
I'm gonna go
Salt
gaze
bath.
at it.
apparently, we're going swimming. Says Sharon.
I want to go swimming. Oh,
I want to go swimming too.
Why do I live in a desert?
I don't know
Same.
why you went there. I genuinely don't get it. Either one of you.
If it was the middle of summer and I was not afraid of snakes, I would just go in the creek. That's like right here, but I'm not gonna risk that.
Roz is reminding us all to blow cinnamon in the door too. I got to do that before I leave.
The first.
I'll throw a cinnamon stick so for my cats. Just throw it in the door.
I have
Good enough.
pumpkin pie spice. I know it's got cinnamon in it, and that's what I'll be using.
Ooh.
Well, because it's got the nutmeg and allspice.
I use it for my spell work to make sure everything is protected. So even if I'm being a
Like a
doofus.
triple threat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But what? Okay, so explain the blowing cinnamon in your doorway.
Brings in prosperity.
The first of every month, right?
You're supposed to
Yep.
clean off your stuff and then blow cinnamon in. Lord knows I'm going to forget again. I should probably grab it. And
Anyone
Do
put
that.
their crystals out?
Oh
no, I always
forget.
forget.
I need to remember to do that too.
I usually forget.
I forget, and then they stay out there.
Yeah. My dog almost ate one. So I just
My cats knock them over. Smidge is like, smash. I'm like, you asshole. She's a jerk.
I unfortunately keep mines locked up, so I need to remember to put them out because they're just in a
what
little
am I doing
drawer.
to you?
No. They're on timeout. No.
You didn't help me manifest. Damn it. Now you're done. No moonlight for you.
So, I thought I was thinking about this in the car, and I was like, I want to scream at my phone, but I can't do anything about it. But so the full moon, I don't necessarily do a lot of like rituals on those times, but I definitely gauge how I'm going to protect myself from shitty people and their shit energy around that time. Like it's in the medical field, it is definitely not a superstition. Like full
Yeah.
moons releases the absolute batshit in people, and it's facts.
Mhm.
It's facts. I don't care what anyone says. It's facts.
No, even okay. So my small town, there are less than 3,000 people who live here year round. In the town over, there's less than, I think there's closer to 8,000 now. So if you think about this area, there's probably about 15,000 people in like a 15 mile radius around us, right? Total in the woods. That's it. Our little hospital, our little police stations, and our restaurants, staff extra. One of my friends is the restaurant manager over down that way. And every time she's like, the fuck is going on with the full moon? Every month, I always see her on Facebook putting something up about the fuck happened to people today. And I'm like, blame the moon, man. She's like, I believe it. She's like, I never believed you before, but I believe you now. I don't make the rules. I just got to follow them.
I noticed
My
it in
state-
customer service too.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
So my state is like the drunk driving capital of the U.S. So Every full moon, I stay my ass home.
I would too. Jeez. Yeah, no. No. It's the
Wait, hold on. I live in Las Vegas though.
I have so many questions.
But see, people are taking cabs in Vegas or walking.
It's true. Well, true. You'd be surprised
a
though.
lot of
In
rules.
the middle of the day, like people are like all over the freeway.
Yeah, here there's a lot of rural area and then a lot of interstate connecting those rural areas.
Someone at least once a month gets a DWI here. And it's always somebody I know. Every single time. I'm like, makes me nervous. Because like I'm not the best driver as it is. Forget my blinkers all the time. One of my friends got me on that one. She was like, you need to use a blinker. And I was like, there's literally no one to blinker to. There's no one around. And she's like, the cops will pull you over and that's going to waste our time. And I was like, fucking valid, fine. She's like, you really want a sobriety test for fun? And I'm like, no. That sounds dreadfully boring. I don't know my ABCs forward, never mind backwards. I don't.
I can't walk in a straight line as it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Human bodies are hard and my equilibrium's always off. Does the moon make that worse? 100%.
I had a sobriety test one time. I wasn't even doing anything. I was literally just out at like 3 a.m. going to Walmart to get chocolate because I was having a shitty day. And like the cops in my little town were super bored. So they were like, "Ooh, we smell alcohol." And I was like, "You don't." Like, you don't. Because I was... but they made me get out and do the whole thing. And they're like... I was like, first and foremost, I've had a head injury. Multiple. So, okay, let's go do this now. You're not going to tell anyway. Oh, yeah.
No. Okay. Was it a full moon?
Honestly, I have no idea. I know that I was just having a really shit day, and I was like, I'm going to go get some chocolate. And then, yeah.
And then oh, I love it. Mary put in the chat, water is out and cinnamon has been blown into the house. I'm ready. Love her so
More
much.
prepared than I am.
I still even put my... I stopped doing it when the neighbors started scowling at me. Because I have like a bunch of glass jars, and so I just go set them out on like... We have like a brick fence, so I just go set them out on the brick fence, and then they'd be like...
That would just
Like, I
make me
guess-
want to do it more out of spite.
Yep, I'd put angry faces on, like I'd put googly eyes on them.
I should. I should.
Those little Halloween stickers with the angry eyes and like the creepy eyes
Yeah.
on each.
I'm so excited. Halloween decorations are out.
Oh yeah, it's in full force. I've already gone 4 times. Halloween shopping. My office is like, it's Halloween. As it should be on the 1st of July, because that is the first day of Halloween season.
I thought it was
July
the 5th of July. July 5th.
Is it July? It's the first to me.
Same.
There we go.
There's
My
no
friend
other
texted
holidays in
me,
July.
I
We
get
had-
I get past fireworks and Patriotic Day, and then I'm like, and unleash.
Halloween.
It does, but in my defense, my house and my office looks a little bit like Halloween all year long. So there is that.
Same.
I mean,
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Shame.
basically home decor shopping season. That's what I call it.
Mary,
It really is.
I love Mary. I'm going to say this every time. Mary in the chat. I love Mary, but she said, "Can we finish summer first?"
No,
Yeah, denied.
no.
Request denied. Sorry.
That is a hard no.
Decline. Insufficient funds. Sorry.
I live in a desert.
Error 404.
Summer should have been over already. I can't do this.
It's 61 degrees out right now, and it's been in the 60s all day, and it's been cold and windy, and I'm like,
Okay, thanks for bragging.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
good
not
for you.
Right now, and it's been raining.
It's about 80 right now, and it's overcast outside.
Yeah.
So Jessica said
No.
that's uncalled for. There's 96, 111, 65. See, Blanca's got it. 65 where she's at.
Yeah, it's been in the hundreds where I am, and it's barely gone down to 90s now.
Ew.
Yeah,
There
this
we
is
go,
the
80.
coolest week all summer, and it's in the high 90s.
So my condolences to everybody who's above 75. Sorry to hear that. Sucks to be you. Yeah. No, because I mean, seriously, the weather starts to get hot, and I'm like, it's trying to kill me. The weather is trying to kill me. I'm going to die. I'm going to die of heat right now. And I'm super sensitive to the heat. Now, before anybody says it, yes, I'm fully where it's the starseed side. Fully where. I know. Kaylee, smile. Oh, did I see Sharon? You see Sharon in the chat? It's a princess thing. I've been called a princess way too many times lately, and I'm not
Embrace it.
mad at it. I really am. I know, but I'm grumpy princess, daddy princess.
If I am like mildly inconvenienced temperature-wise, I am shitty. I don't mean
same.
to be.
Same.
The same thing with hangry. I get hangry.
Yeah, I also do too. It's like sometimes I don't even realize. But what's funny is that there was a really, really extremely hot day. And I was going to wear some like the long sleeves or something because we were having a party. And I'm like, oh, it's going to look good with like this jacket that I have. And so I was gonna wear that, and my sister. So we're setting up before the party, and my sister tells me like, keep the jacket off because I know you're going to be really annoyed by the texture and the heat, and you're gonna be grumpy, and I don't want to deal with that. So keep it off until we get the party started. I'm like, no, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I don't know what you're talking about. And 5 minutes later, I'm like, no, you're right. You're right. I'm already getting mad. I have to take it off. Some people know you too well.
Yes. I was just trying to think. I'm like, I wonder if like the moon cycles have anything to do with me feeling that way. Like I know I do get a little antsy around different moon cycles.
The full moon.
I can't tell with this one because it is the full moon and it's begun my cycle as well. So it's a combination of both, and I've been very, very angry and emotional, and it's been chaotic in my head.
Yeah, I can relate.
More chaotic than normal.
Yes.
Than the normal chaotic.
Oh, and
Ladies,
those two things and perimenopause right now, and I'm just like not here for it.
no one needs to keep bragging.
Just like,
so good.
I hate the human body sometimes. I really hate it.
I'm not the biggest fan quite often.
Same.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Okay, we are about at an hour. We hit it. We did it. We are so great. And then we will go over to our other topics in After Dark. So I want to thank everybody for joining us and listening to this Sweet Release Healing Roundtable. Thank you so much for our amazing producer, Sharon. Thank you, Shirley, Carlene, Antoinette, and thank you, Kaylee, for hopping on last minute. We love you so much for this. I'm so excited you joined. Thank you to everyone on TikTok for your questions, your comments, and your engagement. We love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful evening. happy full moon. I know you probably won't hear this on the full moon, but happy full moon. I hope it was good to you. Happy manifesting. Happy letting go on the new moon coming up on the 16th of August and on the 30th. Happy new moon. We love you so much. Bye.